Topic of today's discussion is about the digestion and digestive system. Yes, these are two important and different points. Number one, digestion. Number two, digestive system. And what else you will learn in today's discussion is actually about the functions of the mouth, the definition of the digestive system, digestion, and what else you learn is peristalsis, anti-peristalsis, important point, emulsification, assimilation, and appendix. You will get interesting information regarding appendix. And since now what we are actually studying and we have been taught is that appendix is actually a vestigial organ, has got no function. But we'll get another interesting point in today's discussion regarding appendix. So till then, just concentrate. I will explain this point, this interesting information, and will help you out with further informations regarding this particular discussion. So you will get a lot. Just concentrate what I speak, just concentrate, and whatever I point towards, you will get a lot into this discussion. Okay, so now let's get started our discussion from the very first point, that is the definition of the digestion. Remember these two important points, like complex and diffusible. Now what is digestion? Simple. It is actually the process. Digestion is the process of conversion of complex food into diffusible food. You take complex food, that complex food is excuse me, that complex food is then converted into smaller components which are actually diffusible. Now what will happen with the diffusible stuff? That diffusible stuff will be absorbed and that then will become the part of your body, will then move towards the cell. Okay, so this is what the definition of the digestion. Digestion is actually the conversion of complex food into diffusible food. I hope you got the definition. Simple and short. The process of conversion of complex food into diffusible food is called as digestion. Now what is digestive system? A system responsible for the digestion. Now this system is actually composed of the following organs. Like mouth is there, so it actually starts from the mouth and ends at the end. At the end. Now what is ending point? Remember, ending point of digestion is small intestine, not the anus. Till mouth to anus, this entire tract is called as gut, alimentary canal, digestive tract. Okay, these three important points and names should be remembered. Alimentary canal, gut, and digestive tract. Now this is the entire tract for the digestive system, but the digestion is actually till the small intestine. Then from that onwards there is no digestion then. Okay, digestion ends in the small intestine and starts from the mouth. Remember these important and interesting points. I hope you're getting what I'm telling to you guys. Well, now let's come towards the next point, that is the mouth. From the mouth, digestion actually starts. So what is happening in the mouth? Simple: selection, lubrication, mastication, digestion. These steps are actually observed in the mouth. Whenever you take the bolus, that is actually first of all selected, and it is then lubricated, then masticated by means of teeth. Then here within the mouth there is digestion observed, like both the mechanical and chemical digestion. Mechanical is done via teeth, and whereas the chemical is done by certain enzymes like amylase. Now regarding salivation point of view, saliva is responsible for the lubrication of the food that you just take in the mouth, and tongue is responsible for the selection of the food. And remember, there are certain glands like sublingual glands, mandibular glands, and parotid glands are responsible for the providing saliva in the mouth for the lubrication of the food. So you guys must remember these important points regarding the mouth. So from now onwards, whatever comes a kind of question, you guys might know and must know, and you guys will know inshallah regarding the functions and stuff regarding the mouth in the digestion or in the digestive system. Well, from the mouth, the food will then move towards the esophagus. Remember, certain points are here being mentioned, like oral cavity, buccopharyngeal cavity, and pharynx. Don't be confused in all these points. Simple. What else is inside the mouth, the cavity that is actually available, that is called as oral cavity or mouth cavity or buccal cavity. And some textbooks, they mention the pharynx with the buccal region, and a name is given, that is buccopharyngeal cavity. So don't be confused. So when you combine these two, or when you just write these two in one word, that is buccopharyngeal. So buccopharyngeal means the buccal cavity and pharynx. So these both are actually combined in some textbooks, and they're written in combination. So don't be confused with that. So here then we have a gate. Gate noun is epiglottis. That is responsible to allow food to the esophagus, towards the GI tract, towards the digestive tract, and the air towards the respiratory tract. So that is the gate noun is epiglottis. Remember that point. Then we have the pipe-like structure, noun is esophagus, and the food will then start moving through the esophagus. Now what is that movement called? This movement is given the name, that is noun is peristalsis, or peristaltic movement of the food. This is just like you might have seen the snack. When the snake takes the food or engulfs something or takes something into the mouth and that is moving, you can see that is moving in the body of the snack. So the same is the case with the bolus when it is moving through the esophagus towards the stomach. So this movement is actually happening in sense like gradual contraction and relaxation is seen. So first of all, as the food enters in the very beginning, so here is actually the food, okay. Now what is seen here by this earlier portion, the first portion will contract, that will push the food, and the portion in which the food is available, that will then relax. So first contraction, then relaxation. So like this, contraction, relaxation will be happening, and the food will slowly, gradually moving towards the stomach. So this is called as what? Peristalsis. The gradual contraction and relaxation of the food of the esophagus to move the food towards the stomach is known as peristalsis. The gradual contraction and relaxation of the esophagus to move the bolus towards the stomach is called peristalsis. Peristalsis is actually the movement towards the stomach. Now what is anti-peristalsis? Simple, the reverse. Now what is the reverse seen here by? The food will move back towards the mouth. So this is called as anti-peristalsis, and that is again the same gradual. That is actually again the same contraction and relaxation is seen. It is like it was seen in the peristalsis. So we got the peristalsis and anti-peristalsis. Peristalsis, gradual contraction, relaxation of the esophagus to move the bolus towards the stomach, and anti is the reverse. Now as it reaches the stomach, here is the gate available, known as sphincter. So as the food means the bolus touches the stomach, this gate, the sphincter will open. Now this sphincter, so as sphincter opens, this will then allow the food to go into the stomach. This sphincter is named as cardiac sphincter. Now a question is, why it is named as cardiac sphincter? The reason behind is that this sphincter is actually in the upper portion, and in the upper portion we have the heart. So a sphincter near towards the heart is actually called as cardiac sphincter. So that's why it is given the name, in order to make us understand about this particular sphincter. So name is given according to its position. And now this is the down portion. Another sphincter is also available. Remember, we have three sphincters in the GI tract. Number one, cardiac sphincter. Number two, pelvic sphincter. Number three, rectal sphincter. Now this is cardiac sphincter because it is near to the heart, and away from the heart towards the pelvic region is actually the pelvic sphincter. And then we have in the rectum, that is rectal sphincter. So we got hair sphincters. Now all sphincters are responsible to allow one-way movement of the food. So as the bolus touches the cardiac sphincter, if this food is okay, not toxic or not that much dangerous food, not poisonous food, the food will then move through the gate will open through the sphincter to the stomach, and in the stomach there will be further mechanism observed. So if the food is not okay, anti-peristalsis will take place from here. Now what happens is the bolus enters the stomach. In the stomach it is actually stored for a while. It is depending upon the food, the type of the food that you have consumed, whether it is protein, carb, lipid, whatsoever it is. So according to that, there will be a specific time duration for the food to stay there. And in the meanwhile, there will be a little bit digestion being observed, like mechanical and chemical, both the types of the digestion will be observed. Mechanical is actually because of the stomach, its own functions are actually because of the walls of the stomach, and the food is moving inside the stomach. So there is actually a kind of reggae observed that is responsible to do a kind of mechanical digestion. And chemical is because of certain enzymes that are available in the stomach that are responsible to digest a little bit portion of the food. So what will happen then? The portion of the food that has been through the stomach is called as chyme. Now this chyme is actually responsible to move towards the duodenum, or you can say towards the small intestine. So as it reaches the pelvic sphincter will open, and from the liver the bile will be released, and this bile will interact with the chyme. Then what will happen? They will become neutral. When the bile interacts with the chyme, the product will be neutral then. Now this neutral product was supposed to move through the small intestine or duodenum. Now this bile has got two functions. Number one, it is making the food neutral. Number two, it is supposed to do the emulsification. Got? It's supposed to do the emulsification. Number one, it is making the food neutral. Number two, it is supposed to do the emulsification. Now what is emulsification hereby? Simple, we have got, if we have got lipid of large size, okay, you know, we consume lipid in our diet. That lipid is of large size, so those particles are large. Now those large particles will be converted into small droplets. So this conversion is actually called as what? Emulsification. I hope you got. Simple. Conversion of the lipid, large particles of the lipid into small particles, is known as emulsification. Now this emulsified lipids and whatsoever you have consumed will move towards the duodenum. Now here in the duodenum there is an inlet, a duct from the bile and from the pancreas. Now the bile did its job, that was actually to make the neutral, the chyme neutral. So the chyme will become neutral, and further it emulsified the food. And then the next we have is duodenum. So now here the next is actually the juice from the pancreas. So from the bile, from the pancreas, certain juices and enzymes will come, like from the pancreas we have trypsin, amylase and lipase. Now they are responsible to do the further and the finish and the final digestion. That is actually called as that is happening in the duodenum. Now in the duodenum then we have jejunum and then we have ileum. So these are actually the portions of the small intestine. So these are the portions where our digestion actually ends. What happens then? We get two products hereby. Number one, digested product. Number two, undigested product. The one is digested, the second is undigested. Digested will be absorbed, and then absorbed food will be moving towards the hepatic portal vein, from where the hepatic portal vein will direct the food towards the liver, and in the liver detoxification will take place. Then what is happening or what is seen is very interesting. Simple and interesting. Here I have already mentioned that from the small intestine the food is actually absorbed, move towards the liver where it will be detoxified, absorbed, detoxified. Then what is seen here is very interesting. From the liver to the cells, the food will be provided or will be given or will be directed or will be absorbed again. This mechanism is called as what? Which mechanism? From the liver, when the safe food, the detoxified food is given to the cell, this is called as assimilation. Assimilation, okay? Assimilation. Simple, the food is absorbed, given or directed towards the hepatic portal, to the liver by means of a hepatic portal vein. Then in the liver it is detoxified, and then from the liver the food is actually given to the cells or is provided to the cells. This is called as assimilation. And as this all or the entire process ends, so what will happen then? Then the remaining portion is regarding the undigested food. The undigested food will go through the large intestine, and here in the large intestine we have certain portions like cecum, colon and rectum. Now what is cecum? Cecum is actually the connection between the small and the large intestine and the colon. Now this is actually the connection that actually stores the food for a while, and here oftentimes fabricated food is actually stored hereby, and the rest is then moving. Okay, what happens next is simple. From the cecum then the food will start moving, and here we have appendix attached to the cecum. Now what is the function of appendix? I will tell you just a moment later. After explaining colon and rectum to you, we'll come towards the appendix then. Now what is happening here in the colon? In the colon we have certain portions of the colons are there. Of the colon is there. Okay, certain portions are available for this particular colon. Here is ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and this particular portion that you can observe hereby, that is, here we have a S-type shape observation. I mean, this is the S-type observation. So this S-type, because of its shape, it is called as sigmoid colon. Sigmoid colon. So now here we got how many portions of this particular colon? Number 1 ascending, number 2 transverse, number 3 descending, number 4 sigmoid. So 4 portions are there for the colon. And what is happening here in the colon is simple. Water and certain minerals are actually reabsorbed from hereby, and then we have the remaining portion, that is the rectum of the large intestine. So rectum is actually responsible to provide mucus to the bowel, so then it will be easy for bowel movement. So bowel movement will become easy because of what? Because of this rectum, and the rectum is providing mucus to the bowel. So this mucus will actually make it easy for us to defecate, to do the defecation. And at the end is actually the anal sphincter or the rectal sphincter, responsible for the movement of, for the allowance of the bowel. So it is actually not controllable in the neonates and kids. So when they just grow up, after that this becomes in the control, voluntary. Then we can do when we desire. I'm talking about defecation then. So this is all in short from my side. I hope you got the entire discussion. If still you have confusion anywhere, feel free to ask us in the comment box, and thank you for watching.